pieces that all go together, and so they have to be a certain length, and the handle has to be, so wide so that it fits in, players' hands. But otherwise, it's literally like create 25 different axe heads that look really different. And so the tower shield specifically, I like that one because that's the fantasy of being invulnerable. And so that was the combat team that really drove that. They wanted to have a character or an enemy that was, more directional, so that, if you attack him from the front, you're goofed. Like, you can't kill him from the front, and that with the arrows and the projectile bouncing off him, that's really cool. That tells that story. And so they basically, since we had all these factions, then I felt obligated to make tower shields for every faction. So we have like a giant library of them. They're really cool.
Yeah. Well, when we split up the design of them, it was great, because actually on our concept art team we had, I think at our highest about 5 artists working, and each one of us had a preference for weapon anyway. I always play a two-handed rogue, always, so I right away stick up my hand. I'm designing daggers. Casper was big into the Warhammers, and so we just divvied it up, and it was a chance for the artist who loves that particular weapon getting to design a range that really excites them, and that just thought, oh, if I could have the coolest two-handed hammer.
Yeah, having a big. At one point, we had 7 concept.
Oh,
artists,
that's right, 7.
Which is awesome, because each concept artist brings their specific vision, like what Matt was saying. So for some of the areas, we could let Matt or Casper or Steve own the area, and then their own personal intellectual palette would like play a part in what that looked like, and it would look and feel really different because it was a different creator. Different creative force behind it.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are bajillions of weapons in the game, and they're all chopped up so that you can mix and match them.
With a few awesome one-offs.
Yeah. There's a bunch of one-off ones as well.
Some really awesome ones.
I like the banana hammer too. The 2x4.
I don't want to spoil my favorite.
Yeah. Okay. We know it's cheese related though.
Everything's always cheese related with me.
Do you have a favorite creature or piece of art that you did for this?
I think the sorry, scratch the mic there. Honestly, I think the Inquisitor sets, it's just because they were so elaborate, complex, trying to fit them all together. Again, like we say, it was a negotiation, trying to create a set that was expandable, customizable, could get consecutively bigger, but that worked under the crafting system with different materials. It was a very large and involved process.
Indeed.
I think all of the iterations to even get there, it's because it's not even the suits themselves, it was the process to get there. I think at my last count, I think we got to about 80. After going through the art book, we put a lot of them in there, and I think it was about 80 iterations just to get into the design language that we were happy with. And then from that point on, it was iterating on that design language.
That was pretty nuts.
Yeah. But I think
I really like this. I like this Quigley Down Under sniper hat.
Yes.
That's probably my favorite hat in the whole game.
That was I think it was Casper who designed that, Casper Konefel, and I have put that on every. Even just at the concept level, we put that on every character, just to see. And there's no one it doesn't work on. It works on everybody. They all look amazing. I would say for creatures, my favorite concept, and when I found one in the wild finally, I was so excited, was the Great Bear. It's there's bears, but then there's something bigger, and it was a part of we did this process where, in thinking of, if you introduce dragons to an ecosystem, they kind of would almost act as this tent pole, and other creatures would have to start adapting to living in a system that had this monster in it. And so we took a few creatures and we applied that exercise to, and so there's a bear in game that basically looks like it eats dragonlings. Like, it is
large.
It's large, and it has just this thick hide, and
it's all scarred
monstrous.
up.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
pretty scary looking. I like the Phoenix creature. That kind
That
of
turned out really well.
yeah, the black obsidian sort of feather dinosaur guy. That guy is really awesome. Single objects. I do like the outrageous Orlesian bed with all the
Yes.
all the gold wings all over it. And
It's like the steam engine of like a steampunk locomotive coming, but made out of Baroque.
yeah.
It's like a Baroque steam engine smashing through your bedroom wall.
Yeah, and I do also like the battering ram that has a big fist
Oh,
on the
yeah.
front holding the pizza
Okay,
dagger.
yeah,
That's
giant
pretty awesome.
puncher.
Yeah,
Door puncher.
literally you punch a fortress in the mouth.
I think
That's pretty awesome.
My favorite creatures has to be the nugs.
Oh,
More
yeah.
so in this game because this is the first time I actually looked at them really close, and they have like hands, like people hands.
Oh yeah.
And I just find it very. I'm trying to figure out what they use those man hands for.
Not to make it too creepy, but I actually, when the Nug was being designed, I had a baby, and watching her crawl around on the bed and her little hands, it was just like, oh, that would just be perfect on there.
I just find it really.
You know what they do?
interesting.
They delicately hold onto your finger and look like lovingly into your eyes, so you feel bad when you eat them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was
Yeah.
one too where Tom Rhodes actually designed them at first on Dragon Age Origins, and then when he was back again for Inquisition and was able to update them for the new engine. So yeah, it was a great, and he was the one that actually put those hands on there.
I like the little hippos as well. Those guys are pretty
Yeah,
funny.
those guys are sweet.
But I think nugs are the funnest because when you run over them on your horse, they go and go skidding out of the way. Maybe that's cruel of me. Probably shouldn't have said that. I love animals, actually.
And I guess on that note, for one final question, can you tell us a little bit about mounts and kind of the work that went into that?
Okay, well, a lot of work went into that. Mounts is one of those things that, for whatever out of tradition, we always have considered that kind of impossible. But as we were playing some of these areas that were like 1,000 miles square, kind of needed that. So to start off with, I think we just bought a stock horse model from somewhere, and really it was an animation challenge through and through. It has to be animation driven. The horse has to be able to walk over things, and jumping a horse is quite hard to make that look good. So basically, we started off with a single rig, and over a period of detailed investigation, fixed up that rig. The animation team went out. Aaron Dibbs, who's one of our technical animators, his mother owned a horse farm, and he's very knowledgeable about horses, so that really helped. And he built up a rig, and we built a detailed animation set and figured out. Luckily, Frostbite also has a really awesome animation suite in the form of Ant that's state driven, so basically we could do it so it fluidly can turn and go up, and you can get on and off, and so we had to figure all of that out. And once we figured that out, then we could basically build tons of different variations of creatures for you to ride around on. So at last count, if you count all the colors, which is kind of cheating, there's like about 30 of them. But it definitely is necessary in some of the big areas. It feels great to jump on there and run guys over and jump up and down and basically reconnoiter the area. So I don't know if that totally answers the question, but we had a lot of fun doing it. It was very tricky, and especially figuring out what to do with the party. I mean, we tried various different things, have them ride around with you, and it was the most fun for basically the fantasy to be like, I'm the Inquisitor, I'm going on a recon mission. You guys, catch up with me later, and then you jump on your horse, you ride around and find whatever adventure you feel like doing. There you go.
Yeah.
Got 9 minutes left.
All right. Well, thanks for watching. I guess up next is David Gator and Mike Laidlaw.
They're going to come and talk about the story, characters, and world of Dragon Age Inquisition. Dragon Age Inquisition, awesome game, comes out November 18th on North America, November 21st in the UK on 5 platforms. So check it out. Digital deluxe version, extra $10. You get extra horses, extra weapons, extra armor. I would definitely recommend that one.
And don't forget the art book.
Dark Horse art book.
Because if you watched all the way
Gorgeous
through
book.
this, you probably want to look at the art book.
You want the art book. It's handsome.
It comes out at the same time in this game, so
Yeah.
Buy them
Yeah.
together.
exactly. Package. Rub them all over them yourself.
Yeah. Why not? That's our version of marketing. All right. Bye.
See you guys.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Madame, the negotiations are far from concluded. Madame! Unlike the Empress, we will not be charmed by your parlor tricks.
Alas, it appears more urgent matters demand my attention. Now, run along, dear.
The threat will unite them. You will lead them.
Something's coming. Something's on its way. Mountains are crumbling like statues of clay. Something's on its way into the darkness. We are one. Into the darkness. We all must run. Into the darkness. We'll
Xbox One, now $349.
Welcome to the Dragon Age Inquisition Tactical Camera Tutorial. In Inquisition, you have 2 modes to choose from when battling your enemies. Push the view button to pause the battle and assess what you're up against. You can drive your cursor over the battlefield, letting you inspect your enemy's strengths and weaknesses. Cassandra, a close combat warrior, is moved to the front line to face the battle head-on. Varric is moved to a more tactical position for his sniping ability. The Inquisitor, a rogue, is set to sneak through the back end of the battle, putting her into the ideal position for her stealth abilities. Have Solus place an ice mine before any enemies can approach Varric. Hit the trigger to resume time and watch your plans play out. The battle resumes, and the Rage and Despair demons are down. The Inquisitor takes on the Wraith with Shadow Strike, and it falls. From Tactical Camera mode, you can also interact with the Fade Rift, sealing it.
To be demons. Chargers! Clean up and clear out. There's money on the horizon.
The threat will unite them. You will lead them.
Tell me, where is your maker now? Call him. Call down his wrath upon me. You cannot, for he does not exist.
They are under the command of the Venatori, in service to something called the Elder One.
The Templars come to kill you.
If we are to withstand this monster, we must control the battle.
More pain this time. The Elder One still comes. You are a mistake. You should never have existed.
Inquisition! With the Herald! For your lives! For all of us!
It ends here. Bow before your new god and be spared.
Welcome to the Dragon Age Inquisition class specialization. To help you choose a class for your Inquisitor, here are a few examples of powers and abilities for warriors, mages, and rogues. As the Rogue Inquisitor, you can specialize in one of 3 different areas of expertise. First, we'll take a look at the Assassin. This specialization focuses on deadly strikes. Here is an example of using 3 of these abilities together. Start by using Knockout Bomb to incapacitate nearby enemies. Then use Mark of Death to increase damage to a target. Finally, finish that target with Hidden Blades. The Artificer relies on mechanisms, such as the Spike Trap, to catch enemies off guard. The Tempest specialization uses alchemy to control the battlefield. As the Mage Inquisitor, you can specialize in one of 3 different areas of expertise. First, we'll take a look at the Rift Mage. This specialization focuses on the Inquisitor's command of the Fade. The Pull of the Abyss ability pulls foes in for a focused attack. The Necromancer uses control over the living and dead to take down enemies. With the Spirit Mark ability, any fallen enemies will temporarily fight their former allies. The Knight Enchanter is a close-quarters combat mage who is an expert in defensive magic. Here's an example of using 3 abilities together. Begin by using Fade Cloak to momentarily become invulnerable. Next, cast Disruption Field to slow down your enemies, and then use Spirit Blade to damage them. As the Warrior Inquisitor, you could specialize in one of 3 different areas of expertise. First, we'll take a look at the Champion. This specialization focuses on controlling the battlefield. The Line in the Sand ability creates a wall of defense, capable of containing the enemy or creating a choke point. The Templar uses divine energies to the party's advantage. With the Wrath of Heaven ability, you can stun many opponents. The Reaver draws power from the blood of enemies. Here is an example of using 3 of these abilities together. Start with Ring of Pain to do AoE damage and increase the potency of other Reaver abilities. Dragon Rage does massive damage by taking some of your health. Finally, use Devour to rip out the heart of your enemy and replenish your health. Which specialization will you choose?
Folks, for those of you who've been following exceedingly closely and possibly watching Patrick Demkew's Twitter account, which I will not plug because seriously, he's got enough followers and it's going to his head. I am off the floor, which is pretty awesome. We didn't have enough room when the art guys were here, so I got to play on the floor and my hand's all like a claw, which, may bring some of you some joy. But for me, it was quite painful. I'm here with David Gator. My name is Mike Laidlaw. I'm the creative director. David is our lead writer. And we're going to talk to you today, I think for our last hour of the day, about storytelling, conversations, followers, the kind of stuff that Dave and his team do on the Dragon Age world. So, Dave, would you mind giving us, can we get a little story summary, just in case anyone's just tuning in or just catching for this segment?
For the person that's new to the game?
Sure, or just, yeah.
All right. Sure. High-level overview, Inquisition begins about a year after the events of Dragon Age 2, where it ended up. If you played that game, at the end, the explosion at Kirkwall was followed by a rebellion by the mages across Thedas. And that was the Templars left the Chantry to hunt them down. And I know that's a lot of terms to throw out at you, but basically you have mages and Templars starting a war to fight each other, and at the beginning of this game, the war has led to the Divine, which is sort of our version of the Pope, calling both sides together finally at Haven, which is a location that's familiar to anybody who played Dragon Age Origins, for a peace conference.
Haven was notably where the crazy cult was.
Where the crazy cult of Andraste was, yes. They had a dragon that they believed was the reincarnation of Andraste, and yes, the Urn of Sacred Ashes was in the mountains, and the exact details vary according to your import, but basically we're about 10 years after Dragon Age Origins, and during that time the Chantry came and built a temple to the Sacred Ashes here in the mountains, and it's considered neutral ground, so it's where the peace talks are being held.
So it's kind of an interesting thing that the Dragon Age world does, which I think you got started. I always call back to the opening lines of Origins being, the Chantry teaches us that it was the hubris of man. Is that in a lot of ways history is very mutable in the DA world, and that's what I kind of like about Haven is that there was a cult here, but no one ever speaks of it. There are very rare hints of it in the codex entries you find around here, but the Chantry came in, basically reconstructed it, and in a way kind of wiped that bit of history out quite deliberately.
Either the player would have wiped it out during Dragon Age Origins, or I'm forgetting the exact details, but I believe that if you made the deal, people who come back to Haven later and the cult is just gone.
Yeah.
So, but the temple was still there. The Sacred Ashes, although they may have been spoiled, it was still a holy site to Andraste. So the church came in and built this pilgrimage site. And Haven, the village itself, which we're running around right now, was sort of rebuilt to house the pilgrims that would be coming either to the Sacred Ashes or to the site where the Sacred Ashes were.
Now, one of the things we've done here is made Haven in some ways into your home base. The Inquisition's been called. The characters that make up the bulk of the Inquisition, Solus being an example, have kind of made this their home base. So talk about how this is similar to or differs from camp in Origins, or just what kind of experience players can expect here.
I guess in a way it's the natural evolution of the party camp that we had in Origins, which is it's a place to come back to, but there's far more to do here than just to run around and talk to your followers. I remember that in some of the early versions of Dragon Age Origins, that's what we wanted to do with the camp as well. That would be where you'd go to do your crafting and have lots of reasons to return, as opposed to just having conversation. But you're just looking. You got your potion upgrades. Your mount will be housed here. You do your crafting as well. You got stores that are present. Anybody that you go out into the world that you recruit into the Inquisition, they will show up here in camp, and you can talk to them.
In fact, why don't we talk to Solus right now?
Sure.
Since I've conveniently put us beside him.
The chosen of Andraste, a blessed hero sent to save us all.
That's Gareth David Lloyd. Anybody watches Torchwood, you might recognize him. He plays Yanto.
Am I riding in on a shining steed?
I would have suggested a griffon, but sadly they're extinct. Joke as you will, posturing is necessary. I've journeyed deep into the Fade in ancient ruins and battlefields to see the dreams of lost civilizations. I've watched as hosts of